Manishma. What's up, Anashim? Ha'am, people. Mishpaka, the family. Shalom Yehudim. Ma shalom ha to the men, ma shalom ka to the girls. I greet you all this yom, to all the Ba'it house of Yasharel, all the Goyim coming out of paganism, and all the Gorim feeling alienated, but now being grafted in to the Ba'it of Yasharel. Shalom, Shalim, Shalom Alinka. Welcome to the Eliyahu's channel. Hallelujah. Greetings to you all. My name is Eliyahu, and you have tuned in to the Eliyahu channel for this Parashat VaYera, found in Bereshit. They call Genesis in Latin, Perek 18, chapter 18, and Pasuk Hud, verse 1, all the way through 22, through chapter through 24 verse. And also the Haftarah, if we have time, and Malakim Bet. Wonderful to come into your home and share this Parashats. If you are beginning to study the Parashats and read with us for the first time, I just want to let you know that we are using the best to our ability, the correct language and words, separating from the replacement theology. We are correcting the words from the Catholic Roman Apostolic Circe of replacement theology that the Christian community and the Messianics have inherited these lies, and they to teach you how to come out of these things, to help you to bridge and teach you not to put you down, not to make you feel ashamed, not to mock, but to literally help you to come forward and come out and bridge you and take you by the hand and teach you the correct words, as it says in the scriptures in Zechariah, to give you clean lips and a new tongue. It's basically the pure tongue of the ancient tongue of our forefathers. That's basically what it is. So we do not speak. This is just a few of the words. You can freeze it, look at it. We have changed many of these words to correct them, and to not only correct them, but to help you and to minister to you, to help you come forward and start speaking even clean English words. We don't have to use the Catholic Latin pagan words or the Greek pagan words. It's helping you, bridging you out of it. Also, you can email us at eagleshavenministry@yahoo.com, and you can request the pamphlet, the color pamphlet of the correction of the replacement words, a whole list of information there, so it can help you more than I showed you on the blue screen, as well as if you just want me to mail it to you, email it to you with a PDF file and other information. I could just give you a link of a email link, so you can go ahead and do that and get it by email, and don't have to wait for the pamphlet. And if you're overseas, it's a little more economical for me to be able to send it to you through an email. You can print it out for yourself there. Welcome to the Eliyahu channel. I just want to open with a prayer so we can fellowship together in reading this parashat. I do things different with the parashat. I'm not going to give you a commentary. We're going to go verse by verse, script by script in the Bereshit, Perek 18, all the way through 22, and we're going to finish the whole chapter together, these chapters together. I like to read it together, and we'll stop here and there for some corrections or some revelation of language to bring out more understanding with a clear commentary with the scriptures in front of us. I don't want to give you, like many of the rabbinical, just a verbal commentary telling you the story, a paraphrase. I want to give it to you word for word, verse for verse, so you can get a better understanding. As we learn how to read in the cleaner English and the Hebrew words, so we can teach you how to take you by the hand and slowly teach you and help you, and you can learn to correct yourself as you go and remember. Praise Abba Yah. So right now I just pray Baruch Hashem Yahuwah Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Kijanubit Veraka Vinaton Lanuit Yeshua Mashiachanu Besivanu Le'ot Ola Olam. I pray right now in the Shem of Yahuwah that Abba Yah would touch you there. The same anointing that's here with me would be present with you there. And his Ruach HaKadosh of light will give you light as we're learning and reading together and studying together this Parashat. May Yahuwah baruch you and keep you. And may the revelation of understanding of the right rule of the marriage covenant come upon you as we begin to read with Emunah and look at the stories of Abraham, Ishak, Jacob. Amen and amen and amen. Hallelujah. Let's go ahead now and turn to Bereshit, chapter 18, verse 1. VaYera. This is from the Orthodox Jewish scriptures. We can go back and forth with the ISR or the Orthodox to bridge you, help you understand more. Verse 1. Instead of Hashem, I'll be saying Hashem. I'll be saying the Shem Yahuwah. Okay? I don't want to say the Shem, the Shem, the Shem, the Shem, the Shem. It's very disrespectful to say the Shem to somebody that's alive and living, and he's our creator. So we're gonna go ahead and say the name of, but he says Yahuwah appeared. Okay. And Yahuwah appeared unto him in the terebinth trees of Mamre, and he sat in the entrance of the Oel tent in the heat of the Yom. Now Mamre in Hebrew is Hebrew number 4471, and it means vigorously, lustful, strong trees. Okay, that's what Mamre means. Okay, verse 2. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and hini shlosha anashim, 3 men, Yeshayahu 6:3, stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the entrance of the Oel and prostrate himself on the ground. Verse 3, and said, Yahuwah, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not on by, please, from your servant. Now, there's a controversy. They say L-O-R-D and put Adonai, but in verse 13, it explains to us, let us know it's Yahuwah. Okay, verse 4, let a little water please be brought, and wash your feet, and rest under the Haaretz. And I will bring a morsel of bread, and refresh you your hearts, after that you shall pass on. Because for this purpose are you come to your servant. And they said, so do, as you have said. And Abram hastened into the Oel unto Sarah, and said, make ready quickly sholosh measures of fine meal, and knead it, and make cakes. And shalosh is 3. Like there was 3 men, 3 batches. Verse 7, and Abram ran into the herd, and brought a calf tender and tove, and gave it unto a servant, and he hastened to prepare it. And he took curds and cholav, milk, and the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them. And he stood by them under Haaretz, and they did eat. Verse 9, and they said unto him, where is Sarah, your wife? And he said, hini in the Oel tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto you at this time next year, and he, Sarah, your wife, shall have Ben, a son. Sarah heard it in the entrance of the well, and which was behind him. Now, Abram and Sarah were Zikanim, old ones, and well stricken in age, and and in childbearing it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed, and it's Zikach. It sounds like Ishak, but it's not within himself. The word Disach, when she said laugh, this is a complete different Hebrew word than the word Isaac. Okay? It's got a Zadi in it. If I were to go to and pull it up here, the word laugh, it's a completely different Hebrew word. It is, this laugh is 6711, different than Ishak, Isaac. And this is 6711. As you can see, it's not Ishak, it's Tzach. It's to laugh, but it's to scorn in sport. Laugh, mock, sport. So it's more of a laughter of a mockery. Like, oh, come on, man. Me? I'm too old. Past the manner of woman. So it was scorn and it was mock. It's not like laughter for Simcha, Kara, or Gila. It's more of a laughter of a mock. Within herself saying, after I am old, grown old, shall I have pleasure? Adon, I, being old also, meaning Abraham, her master. Verse 13. And Yahuwah said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I, which am old, of a certainty bear a child? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed, I will return unto you in due season, and Sarah shall have a son, a Ben. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, oh yes, but you did is laugh. Now, it was more, like I said, it's not the laughter of pleasure or the laughter of exciting, of Simcha or Gara or Gila, but it's a laughter of mockery. That's why Yahuwah corrected her. You mocked. You scorned. It was a laugh of mock and sport and scorn. It wasn't the other laugh. If she laughed in her nefesh and her laugh and her mind and heart, if she laughed in a way of excitement and thrilled with emunah, the father would have used a different Hebrew word as the same as Isaac, okay? Instead of Sakak. Verse 16. And Anashim rose up from thence and peered toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to send them on their way. And Yahuwah said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation. Ko goi ha'eretz, all the nations of the earth shall be baruch in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall be shamor over the derek Yahuwah, to do zedekah and mishpat, that Yahuwah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken and promised of him. So while I'm reading from the OJ, you read with your ISR, Hallelujah Scriptures, or your King James, or whatever translation you had, and you can see the words here that help you in Hebrew with Latin letters, to see the Hebrew words with Latin letters, to phonetically sound it. Okay? Verse 20. And Yahuwah said, because the outcry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous. Of course, in verse 20, in verse 20, when it says, because the outcry, it is Za'ach. And that's Hebrew number 2201, which means a shrieking outcry, similar to a shrieking like the scratching of a chalkboard cutting to the teeth. That's how bad it is in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? And that is Hebrew number 2201, verse 21. And I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry out for punishment. That's the shrieking again of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will have da'as. Abraham intercedes for Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 22, and the men turned their faces from there and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before Yahuwah. And Abraham drew near and said, will you also destroy the Zadik with the Rasha? Suppose there be 50 Zadikim within the city. Will you also destroy and not Nasha, spare, take away, and bear the guilt of the place Li'ah, and for the sake of 50 Zadikim that are within? And there's reference here, you can see Yeshayahu 53:12 and Malachim Aleph, chapter 3, verse 18. And in verse 23, when he says Rasha, it is the wrong. Verse 25, that be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the Zadik with the Rasha, and that the Zadik should be as the Rasha, that be far from you. Shall not ha-shofet kad charetz, the judge of all the Aretz, do mishpat, right? And Yahuwah said, if I find in Sodom 50 Zadikim within the city, then I will spare all the places for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Hini now I, which am but afar and ashes, have taken upon me to speak unto Yahuwah. Suppose there shall lack 5 of the 50 Zadikim. Will you destroy all the city for lack of the 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spoke unto him yet again, said, suppose there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. Verse 30, and he said unto him, O let not Yahuwah be angry, and I will speak. Suppose there shall be 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Hini now, I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahuwah. Suppose there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Yahuwah be angry. I will not speak yet but this once. Suppose Asarah, 10 minyan shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of Asharah, the 10. I know in regular Hebrew 10, like 9 is Shmoneh and 10 is Tesha. So this is Ha-Asharah. It's a different expression of the 10. Verse 33, and Hashem went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his Makom. And there came to Malachim, to Sodom, at Eret, and Lot sat in the Sa'ar Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. So he was there. This is also found in Yashar chapter 19, verse 45. But they went in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. So he's in the main courtyard gate. And if you read in Yasher, this place they put a couch there. So at night, if any visitors come into the city and decide to sleep there, they would rape them. And that was the law put by their ruler. So they put that couch there, in that gate, in that court area. Okay. This is found in the book of Yasher. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Hini, my controllers, turn in now into the bais of Dekim, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Lo, but we will abide the night in the Rekov. It's the courtyard, gate of the courtyard. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his bais. And he made them a mishteh meal feast, and did bake mazot, and they did eat. Verse 4, but before they lay down, the men of Ur, even the Anshi Sodom, surrounded the bais from the Ar to Zikin, young and old, great and small, all the people from every quarter of the city. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the Anashim which came into you Laila this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them carnally. And Lot went outside unto them, and shut the net after him, and said, Now, Aki, my brother, do not so wickedly. He need now. I have two banot, which have not known man. Now let me bring them out unto you, and do you do to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these Anashim do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my Korah beam roof. Now, it seems very harsh. He's willing to throw his two virgin daughters out there to these wicked, perverted monsters to be raped and abused to death. But the tradition to honor a stranger and protect him under your roof as your own brother from all evil and sin. It's kind of a tradition we don't understand, where it comes to the level he's willing to throw his own daughters out there. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'll just protect everybody and never make a deal with my daughters. All right? But we don't understand the tradition of the land at that time. They probably would have tossed the girls aside and not even touched them anyways, because they wanted men, not women. But for him to present it is kind of cruel, I know. But we don't understand that tradition of that time, of the better quote understanding of the curse he would receive if he did throw the men, his visitors, out there. Verse 9. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow come into sojourn as a ger, alien, and he will now play the sophet. Now will we deal worse with you than with them. And they pressed strongly upon the men. Even Lot came near to break down the net. But the Anashim put forth their yad. These are the Malak came Lot into the bais to them, and shut the net. And they struck the men that were at the petach of the bais with blindness, both katan and kadol, small and great. So they wearied themselves to find the petach. And the Anashim said unto Lot, verse 12, Haste you there here, anyone else, Choson, son-in-law, and your banim, and your banot, and whatever you have in the earth, bring them out of this makom place. Verse 13, For we are the mashchedim, ones to destroying this Makom place, because the cry of them is so gedolah, great, 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 before the face of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it. So they're the destroying messengers. Okay? And the cry again is the streaking sound, like scratching of a shrieking sound, like a scratching of a chalkboard. Verse 14. And Lot went out and spoke unto his Koshonim, which were pledged to marry his Manot, and said, son-in-laws and his daughters, up, get you out of Makom Hazah, for Hashem is Mishet, destroying the city, but he's seen as one that Metzachech, joked unto his Choshonim. Verse 15, and when the Shakar came, then the Malakim urged Lot, saying, arise, take your Isha and your two Manot, which are here, or you be swept away in the Avon Ha'er, iniquity. Remember I said the makeup that's named Avon means iniquity. Verse 16, and while he lingered and hesitating, and this is very important to look at, lingered, hesitating, verse 16. In King James and other translations, some say lowering, and while he lowered. In other words, the Hebrew number is 4102, Maha. He basically hesitated, reluctant, delayed, lowered. Some translations lingered and hesitating, but basically he was reluctant and delaying to go. He didn't believe it. He had a little doubt. He was slow footing, but he had to get out of there. The Anashim laid hold upon his yad, and upon the yad of his ish, and upon the yad of his two manot. Yahuwah being compassionate, full of pity unto him. And they brought him out and set him outside the earth. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth outside, that he said, flee and escape for your nefesh. Look not back behind you, neither stop you anywhere in all the plain. Flee and escape to the mountains, lest you be swept away. And Lot said to them, oh, not so, my master or controller. He need now. Your Eved has found chen in your sight, and you have magnified your heshed, which you have sowed unto me in sparing my nefesh, and I cannot flee to escape to the mountain, lest some ra'ah overtake me, and I die. Hear now this, it is near to run unto. It is a little one, that's Zorah, little city. Oh, let me flee to escape there. Is it not Mizar, small, and my nefesh shall live? And he said unto him, Hini, I have accepted you concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the for that which you have spoken. Haste you, flee to escape there, for I cannot do anything till you arrive there. Therefore the Shem of the was called Zorah. Sounds like Mizar. Verse 23. Shemesh rose over Hares when Lot entered Zoar. Then Yahuwah rained upon Sodom and upon Amorah, Gofrit and Ish from Yahuwah out of Shomaim. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities of Zemach, what grew upon the Hadamah. But his Isha from behind him looked back, and she became a mitzvah metak, pillar of salt. Verse 27, Abraham got up early in the Bokar to the Makom, where he stood there before Yahuwah. Verse 28, and he looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the Eretz of the plain, and he saw Kedor, smoke, steam, and the Eretz go up like Zeor of a furnace. And it came to pass when Yahuwah destroyed the cities of the plain that Zikoram Abraham came to the Mighty One, and he sent Lot out of the midst of the half upheaval destruction, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. Verse 30, and Lot left Zorah and dwelt in Har, and his two Banot with him, for he was terrified to dwell in Zorah, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his Banot. And the Bekorah said unto the younger, Avinu is old, our father, Avinu is old, and there is not an ish in Haaretz to come in unto us after the derek of Kol Haaretz. Come, let us make Avinu drink Ha'im, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve Zerah by Avinu. Verse 33, and they made their drink Yamim ba Laila, and the Becherah went in and lay with her and he had da'as not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Verse 34, and it came to pass on the next yom that the Becherah said unto the younger, Bini, I lay yesternight with Avi, let us make him drink Ya'im ha-Laila also, and go you in and lie with him, that we may preserve Zerah by Avinu. They must have really thought that there was nobody left on the earth. They must have really thought everything was destroyed from the terror. Lot must have been so ashamed to go and try to find Abraham, because he lost everything. All he had left was his two daughters. So for whatever reason, maybe the direction he left with Zorah was at the other side of the fiery furnace of destruction. So he would have to take a long round route to get to the place where Abraham was. And we don't understand why he didn't go search for his uncle. But I guess he thought at the time, at that moment of that urgency, that the earth was completely destroyed. I don't know why he would think that, because Abba would never let Abraham be destroyed. All right. So, but this is a little theoretical thinking here. Verse 35, and they made their drink Ya'im ba Laila also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he had da'as not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the Banot of Lot with child by their 37, and the Becherah bore Ben, and called Shmo Moab. The same is the Avi Moab unto this yom. Now, Moab is Hebrew number 4124. Now, get this name. He knows what happened. When he came out of the slumber after 2 days of drunkenness, he knew what his daughters did, even though he could be unconscious. But they were pregnant. So who else? How could they get pregnant? But look at how they named the children. Okay. And Hebrew number 4124, Moab means her, the mother's father. Her, the mother's father. The word Moab is like somebody pointing that she had sex with the father, and became a mother. And that's what Moab means. In verse 38, and the younger she also bore a Ben, and called Shmo ben Ani. Shmo ben Ami. The same is the Avi ben I Amon unto this Yom. And that name is in Hebrew number 1151, son of my father. That is very obvious. Son of my father, which has a root word when you say Amon. So he's Ben Ami, all right, son of my father. But Amon was plural. It means inbred son of my father. And that's Hebrew number 5983, Amon. So the whole word is telling you there was terrible inbred incest going on. Chapter 20, verse 1. And Abram journeyed from there toward the Negev region, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Ger. Now, Kadesh, it's a different word. It's almost like Kodesh or Kodashim. But Kadesh is Hebrew number 6946, which means temple prostitute, male temple prostitute. It's set apart boy for male temple prostitute. It's Qadesh. We don't want to get mixed with Kodesh or Kadesh with Kadesh, with Qadesh, which means set apart male temple prostitute. So there was a temple there between the region of the Negev region, dwelled between the temple prostitute of male boys, Shur, and sojourn to Gerar. Verse 2. And Abraham said to Sarah his Isha, she is my Akot. And Avimelech, Melech Gerar, sent and took Sarah. And as you saw what I read, I'll be putting that also in the story, more detail in Abram to Abraham part 1 and 2, breaks down a full detail from the book of Yasher, Sefer Yasher, of what went down. They took her, forced it away from his hand, okay, with soldiers. And Abraham said to Sarah, his Isha, she is my Akot. And Avimelech, Melech sent and took Sarah. Verse 3. But Elohim came to Avimelech in a Olam HaLaila, and said to him, see, you are meant dead for the Isha which you have taken, for she is a Ulat Baal, married of a husband. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Master or controller, will you slay also a Goy Zadik, a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my Akot? And she herself said, he is Aki, in the tom integrity, guilelessness of my lev heart, and with clean hands of the innocency have I done this. Verse 6. And Elohim said unto him in a Halom, yea, yes, I have da'as that you did this in the tom integrity of guilelessness of your lev, for I also withheld you from sinning against me, therefore allowed I you not to touch her. Verse 7, now therefore restore his Isha, for he is a Navi, and he shall pray for you, and you shall live. And if you restore her not, know you that you shall surely die, you and all that are yours. Verse 8, therefore Abimelech, that means the father of sovereign. Abimelech is like the term of a pharaoh. Every Melech, sovereign, gets the same name. Okay, this is the first Abimelech, and then his son became Abimelech, and it was the tradition of this area, territory, and city to call the next one Father Sovereign. All right. It's not the same man. You're going to see him from Bereshit all the way from Abraham, Ishak, Jacob. But these grandfather, father, and son receiving the same name. Okay, rose early in the boker and came all his avanim and told all these things in their ears, and the anashim were very afraid, all the people. Verse 9, then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, what have you done unto us, and how have I offended you, that you have brought on me and on my Malekah sovereignty Chata'ah Kedolah, great sin? You have done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said to Abraham, what saw you that you have done this thing? Is, in other words, in the Hebrew, saying, what could you have imagined you were going to accomplish from this thought, an idea? Verse 11, and Abraham said, because I thought, surely the Irat Elohim is not in this place, and they will slay me on account of my Isha. Which is true. The tradition of these Goyim, these Goy, had ideas like that. It was against their law, but they used to do it anyways, contrary, and kill a man and take his wife, because they make her a widow. Come back the next day or 3 days later after her mourning and take her for a wife. Okay. And yet, indeed, she is my quote. She is the bat avi, but not the bat imi, and she, meaning emi, and she became my isha. And it came to pass when Elohim caused me to wander from my ba'is avi, that I said unto her, this is your shesh, which you shall show unto me. At every place where we shall come, say of me, he is Aki, the brother. Verse 14, and Abimelech took Zon and oxen and Avidim and Shaphachot and gave them unto Abraham, and restored to him Sarah his Isha. And Abimelech said, Hini, my land is before you, dwell where it pleased you. Verse 16, and unto Sarah he said, Hini, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of kasef. Hini, it is to you a kasut in naim, covering of the eyes, exoneration unto all that are with you, and with all other. Thus she was vindicated. 17, and so Abram da vinid unto Elohim, and Elohim healed Abimelech and his Isha and his maidservants, so they bore children. Now, take heed for this. The curse that was given to Abimelech in his sovereignty was the curse of a barren womb, barrenness, and cramps, and all kinds of pain. Now, once he prayed the prayer of Emunah as a Hanavi for Abimelech and all the women of the city, the barrenness left them and they were healed. But at the same time, because Sarah was standing with them when he did the prayer, there was a contact of Emunah and a contact of healing virtue that went on on Sarai that became Sarah, and she was healed at the same time when Abraham prayed for Abimelech and his sovereignty and all their people. Okay? And Yahuwah had fast closed up Korakim, every womb, Ba'is Abimelech, on account of Sarah, Abraham's Isha. So it shows here that what I just explained to you. Okay? Chapter 21, verse 1. And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahuwah did unto Sarah just as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, a Ben, at the Moed set time, of which Elohim had given promise unto him. And Abraham called to the name of Beno, that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore to him, Ishach. Now, that is the word, real word in Hebrew. It's a different Hebrew number, 3327. Completely different number, Isaac, Isaac, Isaac. 3327 in Hebrew. Complete different number. And Abraham circumcised Beno Ishach at the age Shimonat Yamim, as Elohim or Elohim had commanded him. Verse 5, and Abraham was 100 years old when Beno Ishach was born unto him. Verse 6, and she said, Elohim has brought me zechot, laughter, Ishach, so that all that hear Ishach will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should nurse Banim? For I have borne him Ben in his old age. Verse 8, and the Yiled grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a Mishtah Kodel, the same Yom that Ishach was weaned. So when he's weaned from the breastfeeding of milk, they celebrate a great feast and celebration. Traditionally, even today. Verse 9, and Sarah saw the Ben of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, of Mizach, mocking, scoffing. See, Zakah, Mizach, mocking and scoffing. Verse 10, therefore she said to Abram, cast out this bondwoman and her Ben, for the Ben of this bondwoman shall not be heir with Benai my son, even with Ishach. And the thing was very grievous in the eyes of Abraham because of Beno. Now, in that one sentence, it sounds like Abraham he's really broken and full of grief that he has to put off his son. But if you knew the story of verse 10 from the Sefer Yasher, when basically she caught Ishmael, Abraham's son, to Hagar, his bondwoman or his servant woman. All right, she caught them. In the book of Sefer, there's details. All right, but basically, when she caught them while everybody's feasting a festival behind a certain area, he was actually shooting arrows, target practicing to Ishach near him. They could have struck him and killed him by mistake. Okay, accident. But she caught him with shooting arrows to him, or darts or arrows to him. And so that's why it was grievous to Abraham, because of his Beno. Okay. It was grievous that his son was trying to shoot darts to kill Ishach, his only real blood son. Okay, that was real grievous to in the Hebrew idiom understanding of the sentence of verse 11. In verse 12, Elohim said to Abraham, let it not be grievous in your sight because of the Na'ar and because of your bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said unto you, Shema, pay heed, Shema Yisrael, Shema Abraham, unto her voice, for in Ishach shall your Zerah be called, and also of the Ben Ama will I make a nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham rose up early in the boker and took Lechem and a skin of Maim and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder. And the Yeled lad, which is Yeled, sent her away, and she departed and wandered in the midbar of Beersheba. Verse 15, and the Maim in the skin was done, and she cast the Yeled under one of the bushes, for you can have shade. And she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, let me not see the Mot Ha-Yeled. And she sat there nearby and lifted up her voice and wept. Now, I want to go back here and show you in verse 14 that she wandered in the midbar of Beersheba. Now, Beersheba is the place where Abraham made covenant with Abiyah, the same location, and Beersheba is Hebrew number H884, which means well 7 times oath. The well of 7 times a oath. 7-time oath. Okay? So he had a covenant with Abba there. She went there. She chose to go there. This is the place of the well of the 7th oath. And see, in the book of Yesher, it shares very detail that Sarah taught her Torah and taught her the halakot and the halakot right ways of Yahuwah and the Torah ways of Torah to her. So she knew Yahuwah. She knew the Shem of Yahuwah. So she's about ready to pray to him. And she goes to the place of Beersheba, the place of the 70, the well of the 70 oath. Okay? I just want you to, I went back there to show you that in that verse 14. Now let's go back, verse 17. And Elohim heard the voice of the Na'ar, and the Malach Elohim called to Hagar out of Shomaim, and said unto her, Malach, Hagar, be terrified not. And the reason I don't use fear, because that is a Greek deity of terror for battle. It's a Greek word. It did not exist in this time of the ancient times of Bereshit, in ancient Ketav, Paleo-Hebrew. Okay? It's terrified, be terrified not, for Elohim has heard the voice of the Na'ar where he is. Arise, lift up the Na'ar, and hold him in your yad, for I will make him a goy kodol, a great nation. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a bear of Maim. And she went and filled the skin with Maim and gave the Na'ar drink. And Elohim was with the Na'ar, and he grew and dwelt in Midbar, and became a Roveh Chesed, an archer, and he dwelt in the Midbar of Paran, and his got him an Isha out of Eretz Mitzrayim. So this makes him, he's part Egyptian because Hagar is Mitzrayite. Okay? Now she gets a wife that's Mitzrayite. So the babies are 3/4 Mitzrayite. All right? Now, how could they're not Arab. They're not Arab at all. Arabs did come later, and they were from a different area. They're not about Mitzrayim. And the Arabs and the Persians did not have, they were not in that area of Mitzrayim. They had a different bloodline. Okay, the Islamic Arabs did not conquer and take over with Islam between 7 and 900 of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, and also the areas of Africa. Verse 22, and it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Bishko, the Sarzavah, and of his spoke unto Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you have do. Now therefore swear unto me here before Elohim that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my child, nor with my descendants, but according to the chest that I have showed you, you shall do unto me, and to the Eretz wherein you have sojourned. And Abram said, I will swear. Now listen, this is divine appointment, because Abimelech, you're going to see 4 or 5 generations of the Abimelech's children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren throughout the history and scriptures. You'll see the same name, and even there was an Israelite by that same name also. All right? Father of the sovereigns. So realize this covenant was extended from each generation. All right? And it had to be reestablished several times, which you see with Ishak and Yaakov. Verse 25. And Abram reproved Abimelech because of the Ber Maim, which Abimelech Avadim had violently seized. His people, his servants, Avadim, they seized all the wells, which we're going to read, where Ishak reopens it too. And verse 26 digs up the wells that Abraham got bad equipped with. Verse 26, and Abimelech said, I know not who has done this thing, neither did you tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but Hayom. And Abraham took Zon and ox and gave them unto Abimelech, both of them made of brit. And Abram set apart 7 lambs of the Zon by themselves. So there were 7 of them, this covenant. Verse 29, and Abimelech said unto Abram, what mean these 7 lambs, lambs, which you have set apart by themselves? And he said, for these Sheva lambs shall you accept of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have dug this well. Therefore he called that place Beersheba. Again, the place of the 7 times covenant. You hear what I'm saying? The 7 oath, 7 lambs, all right, a part of that covenant. So it's the well of the 7th oath. Because they swore an oath, both of them. 32. Thus they made a brit at Beersheba, the well of the 7th time oath. Then Abimelech rose up and Pishkord, the Sar Zeva of his, and they returned into Eretz Pelishtim. And when you say Kool, the Sar Zeva, it's the commanding, like a chief commander of his army was with him. He came with soldiers, okay? And Abraham planted in Ishul Tamarisk tree, in Beersheba. So he planted a tree, and part of the oath or covenants, which is seen also in David and the covenant he made with the son of Saul, and that covenant was with a tree also, with the blood sprinkled on it, cutting their fingers and crossing their arm and making top covenant. Well, they did the Tamarisk tree in Beersheba also. That 7th vow oath, they took the blood of the lambs and they sprinkled it on the new tree they planted. So if one crosses the road and looks at the tree, they remember the covenant, the 7-fold oath with Abraham. If Abraham crosses the road and sees the tree that he planted there, he remembers the 7th oath covenant with Avimelech and his people. So there's a reason for the tree there. It's a part of the covenant. Our Mashiach shed his blood on a tree, that anyone walking on the side of the road where Golgotha was, he will see the blood, remember the covenant of the tree, and the blood that was on the covenant from generation to generation, from the next son to the next son. And it's up to you to freely accept that covenant. This goes on This is a Hebrew idiom understanding. It is not a Christian thought, okay? And called there on the Shem, the name of Yahuwah El Olam. Verse 34, and Abram sojourned in Eretz Pelishtim Yamim Rabim. And Palestine is the original phonetic sound of the word Palestines, or the Palestinians. All right, Palestine, Yamim Rabim. Chapter 22. We're going a long way, but we got to close this parashat of VaYera. Verse 1, and it came to pass after these things that Elohim did test Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Hineni, behold, here I am. Verse 2, and he said, take now your son, thy Ben Yaked, only son, Ishak, whom you lovest, and go get you into Eretz Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell you of. So one of the hills of the mountain, he's going to be told to go there. Okay, he's going to be told which one to go to. And Moriah, the Hebrew word is basically it's Moriah. It's got Hebrew number 3050, like Hallelujah, Yeshiyahu, Eliyahu, all right, Moriahu, okay, and it has Hebrew number 3050. It means seen of Yah, or Yah has seen. Moriah, Moryi, Yahu, Moryi, Yahu, seen of Yah, or Yah has seen. That's what Moriyahu means. And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell you of. Verse 3. And Abram rose up early in the morning and saddled his donkey, and took two of his servants with him, and Ishak his son, and cut the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which Yah had told him. Then on Yom HaShlishi, Abram lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. Now, this is Elohim, but it has the plural there. This is Hebrew number 430. It has the pluralism of Elohim. All right, it's not the word for in Hebrew, which will be like, say, Hebrew number Eloha. Eloha will be singular, okay? More of a singular presence of Yahuwah, but we will use the word Elohim. Verse 4, then on Yom HaShlishi, Abraham lifted up his eyes. Now this is Shlishi, Yom HaShlishi, Yom Rishon, Yom Shini, Yom Shlishi. So this will be like the pagan Gregorian deity week will be Tuesday. Okay. And Abram lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his servants, abide you here with the donkey, and I and the younger man will go over there, and nishtaka we will worship, and we will come again to you. So he's letting them know he's going to come back. Okay. And Abraham took Olah, the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Ishak, his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. So it means like the flint and the kingle wood. It's like a sack of kingle wood, stuff that you use to kingle and start a fire with the flint and the knife. It strikes the knife. Strikes the stone of the flint. Verse 7, and Ishak spoke unto Abraham his Abba, and said, Avi, my father. And he said, Hin ini benai, here I am I, my son. And he said, Hini, the ish, fire, and the wood, but where is the se, lamb, for a burnt offering? Yeshayahu 53:7. Good reference, go to it on your time. And Abraham said, my son, Elohim will provide himself a se, lamb, for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which Elohim had told him of. And Abraham built a Mizbeach there, and laid the wood in order, and made the Akedah binding of Ishak his son, and laid him on the Mizbeach upon the wood. And Abram stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the Malach of Yahuwah called unto him out of Shomaim, and said to Abraham, and he said, Hin ini, and he said, lay not your hand upon the young man, neither do not you anything unto him, for now I know that you reverence Aloha, seeing you have not withheld your son, your Ben Yachet, from me. 13. Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abram went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. Yeshayahu 53:8. Now, listen to this for a minute. In this verse 13, realize that in Sefer Yasher, chapter 23, verse 70 to 74, that Hashatan, when Abraham lifted up the knife to strike him, but cried to the Abba, your will be done, not mine. He was praying, I don't want to do it, Abba. But Hashatan took a ram to ram Abraham, to push him, that he might thrust his son with the knife and cut him or kill him. Okay? But Abba allowed the ram to get stuck in the thicket in front of it, and got stuck in the thicket. So what the enemy tried to do for bad, Abba turned it around for the Tob. You got that? What the enemy was trying to do to destroy Ishak and have Abraham sacrifice him or murder, slaughter him, but Abba through the basically the thicket in front of the ram, and he got stuck in it. All right, so it kept him from ramming Abraham. Verse 14, and Abram called the name of that place Yahuwah Yireh, my provider, as it is said to this young, in the mount of Yahuwah it shall be provided. Verse 15, and the Malach of Yahuwah called unto Abraham out of Shomaim the second time. This is the messenger, and said, by myself have I sworn, says Yahuwah. So the Malach is doing a Hanavi quotation. The messenger is saying, thus says Yahuwah. By myself have I sworn, says the name Yahuwah. For because you have done this thing, have not withheld your son, your Ben Yachet, your only son, that in Berekot I will brakah you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the kokabim, the brilliant ones, or as the principalities of the skies, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And your zerah shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your zerah shall ko goi haaretz be berekot, because you have obeyed my voice. 19. So Abraham returned unto his servants, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. That's the place, the well of the 7 oaks, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Remember Haggai? and her son were there too, made a covenant too, and Abba berekot them. Where is that place today? Hallelujah. And it came to pass after these things that he was told to Abraham, saying, Hini Melka, she has also borne children unto your brother Nachor. Milcah. Verse 21. Uz is Becher, firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram. Now, when you look at here in verse 20, and he says, and it come to pass after these things that it was told Abram the saying, Hini Milcah. Milcah is Hebrew number 4435, which means a queen. It's like you call your wife my queen, my princess. She has also borne children unto your brother Nachor. And you know what Nachor means? In Hebrew number 5152, the snorer. He was a snorer. That's his name. They named him a snorer. He probably inherited that name not in his early age, but later. But his name is Snor. And Uz is Bekor, firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram. 22. And Kesed, and Hazor, and Pidash, Yidlaf, and Betul El. And Betuel fathered Rebekah. That's Rebekah. Fathered Revkah. We say Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nachor, the snorer, brother of Abraham, and his Kish, whose name was Remah. She bore also Tivak, and Kacham, and Takash, and Makah. And that concludes this Parashat VaYera. It ends this parashat. You go ahead and read the Haftorah of Melachim Bet Perek Abba, chapter 4, verse 1 through 37. All right, to conclude this parashat. Thank you so much for being with me to celebrate and read this. Don't forget that you can get this if you email me, either by PDF or PowerPoints and PDF files, so you can look at it and study it and teach others. All right? Praise Abba Yah. This has been a long reading, but I thank Abba Yah for the opportunity to come before you and to you, with you, and to read it together and help you and bridge you to move forward in clean lips and clean words and teach you the depth of some of the understanding of Ibrit, of the Hebrew words and the idioms of that we did not catch when we're reading the English translations. So I thank you for being with me. Let's celebrate the next one together. I berekot you and have Yahuwah baruch you and keep you wherever you go. And may you midrash, if you watch this during a Shabbat or your time of midweek fellowship, midrash with others and study it and talk about it and fellowship and edify one another with emunah. In the Shem of Yahushua Mashiach. Amen, amen, amen.